And then just like that, here he is. That's where you hear the computer come on, you know it's time. Once you know it's kitty treat time. Hmm? Hey, Paul, first one in. Hello, Robert. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Good morning, New Zealand. Oh, boy. There we go. Starting to get some people popping on now. I was just saying to Bite here a second ago that he seems to hear the computer come on and knows it's kitty treat time. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, Paul. Let's get some people in here. So, because right now there's only 9 people. If I say it now, then we won't do a whole lot. But let's stick with us a little bit until we get some people in here. We'll talk about that. That Bite gets down there and starts licking himself. Yeah, I'm glad you got to see one. Had to get this one done early today because I'm going up to Silo of Screams again tonight, and doing their kind of last hurrah tonight. They're doing one where they turn the lights out on all the mazes, and basically they charge you a little less money, and you get to go through all the mazes, and they like give you a glow stick, and that's your only source of light. So I figured, you know what, that'd be fun to do too. Yeah, Paul, I have 2 cats too. The other one just doesn't like to be on video very much. It's Sunday morning in New Zealand. Yeah, well, one of them's on the shelf. The other one's down here. Like I was saying just a minute ago, I think he hears the computer come on and decides to come on down and visit because he knows now he gets kitty treats when that happens, doesn't he? Don't you, Bite? He's over there doing a little grooming right now. Can you ask if you can show what you recorded? Well, the only stuff I recorded that I can show was that video I posted a few days ago. I assume you're talking about the Silo of Scream stuff. They did see the vlog I did out there, and that was actually what encouraged them to ask me to come back and shoot the video I did that I posted. But basically, what I did on that night is I just on the night when I went through that one maze, to the funhouse maze, is I just turned on the camera and just ran through the whole thing. And basically, the stuff that I put on the video was really the highlights. A lot of it was really dark. I don't have a good camera like Jordan does for shooting in the dark, so a lot of it didn't come out. So basically, I just picked the stuff that did come out, and it looked really interesting, and that was ultimately what they put up. And like I said, I keep getting good feedback on them. When I was out there on Halloween night, they kept talking about how great it was, and a lot of the actors came up to me and said that they had liked what I had done and all that. So they even got even the owner's wife came up to me afterwards and introduced herself and said that she'd really liked the video. So, oh, we got New Zealand and Australia here. Yeah, I was. Yeah, they were. Yeah, New Zealand was saying it was morning there. So yeah, it makes sense. It's morning in Australia too. How's the weather? It's been really cold here. In fact, when I was driving home on Halloween night after the Silo of Screams thing, it really, I was sitting there watching the temperature on the thermometer on the car, and it was dipping up and down between about 32 and 35 degrees. When I got back to the car after the maze shut down, there was actually frost on top of the cars. I'd never seen that in California, and I hadn't seen that here yet. So that was a first. Actually, had to warm up the windshield a little bit before I could wipe the frost off the windshield. Otherwise, I'd tear up my windshield wipers. Yeah, I heard some people got some snow on Halloween. That's weird. I don't know how much Halloween they did here because it was really cold that night. It's going to be got a little heat wave going through here now. It's supposed to be 37 tonight. Yeah, that's right. You guys are in the middle of your winter right now in Australia, aren't you? Well, you both New Zealand and Australia are like time travelers because you're both. It's tomorrow there. You're living in the future. What's it like in the future? Because I'm just living in the past. It's still yesterday here. I know. I didn't. I guess I assume I knew it got this cold in Waco, but I didn't expect it was going to happen this fast. Though that was weird because just like a couple of weeks ago, it was in the 90s, and then just one day it rained, and the next day it was cold, and it's been cold ever since. We went from the 90s in the day to being 50s in the day, and that's what it is. I think today it's probably lower 60s if anything. Oh, it's spring in Australia. That's right. Because yeah, we're kind of work. We haven't even worked our way into winter yet. It's still fall here. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. You're 6 months out of phase from us, or we're 6 months out of phase from you, whichever it is. But you're moving into summer. That's kind of what I meant. Yeah, I was surprised how quick the temperature changed this year. When I did my video yesterday, my face was red, and anybody's going to look at me and say, "Oh, you got sunburn." Actually, no, it's just from being outside. It's from being outside when it's really cold. My face kind of does that sometimes. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, all we need is like a warm onshore breeze again coming in off the Gulf, and it'll probably warm up again. But I mean, I'm watching the weather like 10 or 15 days out, and it's going to be like this for a little while. So I knew it was going to get cold here because when I was here in January, um, it was really cold. It was almost miserable to be outside. So yeah, you're right, Kathy. This is actually what I asked for. That gets to get to have a little bit more variety in the weather, and so I'm not complaining. It's weird though. I went from having the air conditioning on 24 hours a day to having the heat on 24 hours a day. Where are the kitties? Actually, one of the kitties is literally right over there right now. In fact, he hears me talking about him, and so he's like down here now. So you'll probably see him pop up here in just a second or two, because that's usually, yep, see, told you, turning into a little drama queen. He would take that and chew on it for a while, huh? Usually doesn't take much for you to gobble down one of those, but I guess he's a little camera shy about eating. I guess I would be if I was as fat as he was. I'm sure he'll be back. I left the jar of the kitty treats open, so he'll definitely be back. It's right down here right now. Begging for a little attention, aren't you? So there you go, that girl. You asked for him, now you got to see him. Yeah, we had a little police activity here a couple of weeks ago, and I actually met a whole bunch of the neighbors. And turned out that see, he's going for the kitty treats now. You know, if I'm not there to dish him out and I leave the lid open, he'll just go for him himself. Little thief. I think he realizes though that he's got too big of a head, and he'll get his head stuck in there if he tries to reach in. Now, so now he comes back here and mooches. Anyway, we had a little police activity here. A couple of the kids got in a fight, and they called the police. And so, as usual, all the neighbors come out and you look, you lose. So I got to meet a whole bunch of them. That was a couple of weeks ago. A lot of nice people around here. What does my family think about my move to Waco? I think they were sorry to see me leave California, but they understood that I kind of had to do what I had to do. What was happening in California just wasn't working. The maze place. Do you know when they start the Christmas mazes? I would assume that would probably be pretty close to the end of Halloween. I don't know. I'm going out there tonight, so I'll ask them. Tonight's like the last night. Hi, Leanne. Hi, DNA. Thanks for stopping in. Well, I already got my voice drying out a little bit. When it gets cold here, the humidity drops too, and so we've gone from like 60% humidity to like 30% humidity. That was actually something I was hoping I was going to escape a little bit. I thought there'd be more humidity all year round, but I guess when it starts getting cold, the humidity in the air all freezes. How's the weather here? The weather's it's been chilly. Um, yeah, we had a rainstorm a couple weeks ago, and it went from 90s during the day to about the 60s during the day, and I think that's about what it is now. We had a little sun today, but supposedly a little bit more rain coming in a couple days. Um, so we'll see. So we'll see. Weather can go all over the place. That was sort of what I wanted when I came here, was to get a little bit more variety in the weather. So you know what? I can't complain. How's my parents? My parents are good. In fact, it's my dad's birthday today, so I don't know if he's watching this yet. But happy birthday, Dad. Hope you have a good day. In fact, I gave him a little bit of shout out on the video I'm putting up today. So you saw somebody look just like me at the bank today. You almost thought it was me. Yeah, that could be surprising. Who knows? I'm just a normal person. I go to the bank, so it could be. Although I guess it's sort of a requirement that I'm in Waco, Texas. If you see me in a bank, if I'm somewhere else in the world, it's maybe a pretty safe bet it isn't me. I'm doing good, old junior boy. How are you? Getting ready to go back and do the final night of Silo of Screams. They did their last regular show on Halloween Day, but we're going back tonight, and they're going to do something where it's $25 instead of $35 to get in, and all the lights are out, and yeah, right, blackout, exactly. And basically, they give you your only source of light is to give you a little glow stick that you can wear around your neck, and so be a lot of screams tomorrow. So I'll definitely have a thrash voice when I do tomorrow's vlog. But you won't have to worry about that until I think Monday, because I'm a couple days ahead. Actually, probably Tuesday, because yeah, probably Tuesday, because today's video, the video I did today was a restaurant video, and that will be out on Monday. Yeah, I have a lot of friends like live in Long Beach area in California, so I've been to Mount Baldy too. I don't know. I'm not sure if there are actually rolls that we do on Lights Out because, I don't think there'll even be makeup because what's the point? It's dark. It's just going to be a lot of people jumping out of the dark. So, and shot and boo. So, yeah, I didn't do any of the Halloween stuff this year. I was up at the Silo of Screams. What I think of the wildfires, they're bad, but that's what happens. You got to manage your forests, and California just isn't doing that. And so when they do have fires, they're a lot worse than they have to be. It's sort of self-inflicted, but you know what? That's a shame. Yeah, well, I'm sure my dad will have a good day, just not having to be in the hospital. I know he's not a huge fan of that. Like I said in the video that'll go up today, he got his present like 2 weeks ago when he got out of the hospital. So yeah, the wildfires are bad in California. I'm glad I'm not there. That's one of the things, the smoke always messed with my allergies, and actually one of the areas that always seemed to burn was a little north and east of me. And so when that happened, the smoke all just blew right past me. It was bad. It'd be hot out, and you had to keep the windows closed because otherwise all the smoke would get in. Now, one of the advantages you sometimes get being that close to it is that the smoke goes up and over you. So what you end up with is, the air is clear, but everything has an orange tint to it because all the sunlight's coming through the smoke. It's gumbo eating weather, huh? In Cajun country. Yeah. Well, you guys, the Cajun areas, Louisiana and Mississippi and all that. They got a lot of rain the last week. The storm that kind of made everything cold here really pounded them. So, well, usually when we get the fires, it's because we have the Santa Ana conditions, because that's that's pumping the air in there. And so the beauty is it kind of washes everything offshore. So usually once the fires are out, the smoke smell goes away. Now, if you just have a regular wildfire not associated with the wind, then that can stay for a long time if there's no wind associated. But oh, that's okay. I'm glad you stopped in, that girl. I'll be going for a while yet. We're 18 minutes and 30 seconds into this, so I usually go for a couple hours. So we started this one about 3 o'clock. We'll be going until probably about 5, and then I'm going to get something to eat, and then head on up to Side of the Screams, head on down to Temple. Yeah, I'm enjoying the cooler weather too. It's a nice change considering every day since I've been here it's been 90 or 100 degrees, and I actually said, "Oh wow, 89 degrees. That's like really really nice." It's like a cold spell, And you got to put on your jacket. It's like yeah. So yeah, it changed really fast though. It's weird. He's just behind me, chilling right now. 85 in Phoenix, huh? Okay. Yeah, what is it? What is it exactly here? Let me look. Hang on. Oh, sort of a heat spell here. It's 76 right now. Oh yeah, I went to a barbecue place for lunch today, so I thought it was appropriate to wear my Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt. I actually got comments from it from the wait staff too. They looked at that and said, "Oh, that's great! I love their shirt." So yeah, that was one of the shirts I bought when we came to Texas with Jordan. So one of the things I kind of wanted to talk to you about today, I talked to a friend of mine. He's a local vlogger here in Texas, in Waco here, I believe. A young kid named Paul. He's got a vlog called Epic Paul where he kind of goes around and does some of the similar stuff that I do. And I promised him I'd give him a little shout out and see if some of you guys would like to go check out his stuff. It's kind of interesting. He's a young kid. I don't know how old he is, but his vlog is called Epic Paul. Let's see if I can get him to pop on. Are you still here, Paul? See him. He was here right at the beginning, and we talked about giving him a shout out, but there were like 5 people here at the time. I said we'd pick it up a little later, so maybe he walked away for a minute or something. But we're gonna bring him up. If I see him pop up again here, I promised him last week that we'd do it if he stopped in, but I did my vlog really early, and I guess he didn't realize it had been done until after it was over. So, but anyway, just go look for Epic Paul, EPICPAUL, 2 words. He does some of the just goes and visits fun little places around here. I guess what the local Sears shut down, because they went bankrupt recently, and in one of his videos, he like went into the Sears in the last couple of days, and he was really sad in it. Yeah, my voice is still a little thrashed. Sorry about that. Hope that doesn't mean I'm getting sick. Yeah, that pizza at Morosa was really good. I'm glad I went back for that. I thought it was kind of weird that I went to a pizza place the first time and had pasta, so I figured I had to go check that out. But it's also because I'm kind of running out of some of the places to go around here. I've hit basically all the highlights, and so at some point you start getting diminished returns. So we'll have to revisit some of those places from time to time. You have anything to add? You're just gonna sit there and purr and look handsome, huh? Is that what it is? Just gonna sit there and mug for the camera. Okay. Hey, Jeff's in the house. Yeah, Jeff's doing his own videos too. I don't know if he's putting up on YouTube yet, but he's been putting them up on his Facebook. He's got like a pellet grill that he's been doing showing how to cook. I guess he went to like a local vendor and that makes the barbecues, and they have some classes on stuff, and he's been showing some of the tricks of the trade. And he's got a couple of videos up that I've seen so far. I don't know, have you put them up on YouTube yet? Or are you just doing them on Facebook, Jeff? Yeah, maybe this is just going to be let's promote other vloggers day here. We got Jeff, and we got Epic Paul, and okay, so he's saying just on Facebook. You think you'll do them at some point on YouTube, or are you just going to stick with Facebook? I haven't heard anything about that company that I sent 3 applications to, but it's only been one day, so you got to give them a little time. Generally, what happens is when they put application or when they put ads up on like a website, what they'll do is, they won't do anything until they're done looking. And so if they're still in the looking phase, they're collecting applications at this point. So I would guess that it may be a few days before I hear from them, depending on what their own schedule is. Hey, Elvis is in the house. Yeah, yeah, almost beat me to it there, Greater Bilby. Yeah, Elvis is in the building. Still really enjoyed your lasagna. That was really good, Elvis. I ate that very quickly. That's something I'll definitely go back to and hit again. Yeah, well, the videos I've seen so far have been pretty good, Jeff. So, you're at least as good as I was when I first started. Basically it's just a matter of shooting it and editing it together, and you seem to know how to do both things. So, what topics? He's just been doing stuff on his barbecue. Hey, I really, the thing that really got my attention the first time is what he calls it. He calls it because he's got a smoker grill, and so he calls his vlog "Kids Smoking in the Backyard," and I thought that was really funny. That made me laugh. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's old. Maybe it's that I'm old fashioned. I do some streaming of videos and stuff like that. But my issue is, what happens if the power? Well, if the power goes out, I'm not going to have my DVD player either. But what happens? If the internet goes down or something like that, all of a sudden, you have no access to entertainment. That's right. It's All Souls Day too, isn't it? Actually, I thought All Souls Day was on the first. Or is that just Day of the Dead? I don't know. I keep all the holidays kind of blur together sometimes around now. Do I have Undercover Brother? No, I don't have that one. First is All Saints Day. Okay. All right. See, that's why I like having you guys here because you know all this stuff. I learn as much from you as you do from me. Yeah, Jeff's vlog name. That made me laugh when I first saw it. It's a very clever name. Although it could be one of those things that YouTube would look at and say, "Oh man, we don't want that. That's not advertiser friendly enough," or something like that. No, I haven't seen your Beetle record vlog. Honestly, doing this vlogging and applying for jobs and all that, I just haven't really watched a whole lot of other stuff. What's going on? Well, we're doing a live stream, and congratulations, you're a part of it. Elephant Man, yeah, maybe that might be something I'd get at some point. I've seen the movie. It had its moments. Had its moments. Hello, Susan Getty from Idaho. How's the weather up there? California drying up or what? I don't know. It's 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 definitely been windy there for the last few days because the fires have been really bad. Yeah, exactly. California is burning down. It's cold in Idaho. Yeah, I figured as much. Have you gotten any snow yet there? What I do, usually when it comes to watching other people's vlogs, is I'll not watch them for a while, and then I'll go and like pick and choose which ones. So and it's oftentimes it's what subjects look interesting to me, and so I'll go check it out, and if I see beetles in it, I'll definitely check that one out. Yeah, my parents are quite a ways from the fires. They live in like Garden Grove, and if you look at the map, that's 30 miles away from anything, and it's going to have to plow through. The fire's going to have to go through 30 miles of houses before it gets to my parents' house. So yeah, I don't know. I might go to Houston or Galveston at some point. I don't know. Right now, I'm just still trying to, get, the priority is to find a job here, um, and, go from there. Well, they have fires, but not that kind of fire. There's, the problem with the fires in California is like up in the hills, where there's trees and stuff like that. Usually, when it's just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of houses, it doesn't go there. And yeah, Jordan's safe too. He's somebody posted on the Facebook channel recently questioning whether he was okay, and Jordan's like miles away from the fires, from the closest fire, and it's moving in the opposite direction. So yeah, he's not going to have any problems either. Ever do Uber? Yeah, occasionally. Not a whole lot around here, but when I was in California and stuff like that, or when I was moving out, I did a few Ubers at that point. It's not something I do regularly because I do have a car, and oftentimes it's less expensive to take the car than to take an Uber. With the car, you're just paying for the gas. For the Uber, you're paying for the driver and the gas. Oh, have I ever worked for Uber? No, no, I'm not really somebody who wants to do that. Plus, the fact my vehicle's a leased vehicle, so there's like mileage limits of what I could do. I was just looking at the temperature a little bit ago. It's 76 right now, but it's been dipping into the low 30s at night. So we're actually expecting it's going to be cold again. I'm going over to do the last night of Silo with Screams tonight, and they're expecting it to be 37. I think. Let's see what the weather actually says. I haven't looked at it recently. Get an idea what it's going to be tonight. Yeah, forget the ads. Come on, get out of the way. Oh wow, it's popped up now. It's going to be 39 tonight. So yeah, it's still going to be pretty cold out there tonight. So beauty is I think it's going to be in the dark, so I can wear a lot of thick clothing, and we'll take care of that. Yeah, this is the last night for Silo Screams. I guess until they get going for Christmas, they're going to do a Christmas one again too. Okay, all right. I think I've had enough of him. I like to give him a little bit of a chance, but at some point they're just being a pest. I think we're getting to the point where we've gotten rid of the most of the professional trolls, and now we're getting to the amateur trolls. Yeah, it isn't actually that bad out there today. It's in the 70s, so but yeah, with the trolls like that, I mean, just sometimes it's like I mean, the first comment he did was just like he was pounding on the keyboard, and I was saying, okay, whatever. So you keep watching him, and then just says, what his name is, and But then when he starts becoming abusive, it's like, okay, that's it, we're done. Well, I'm convinced that a lot of them just, they want attention, and that's what it's all about. All right, you're multitasking, watching the Florida Georgia game while you're watching my live stream. That's cool. Yeah, well, I guess this is my friend for life, huh? At least as long as I'm dishing the kitty treats, right? It's funny when I'm dishing the kitty treats at night, both of them will be down here and they'll be fighting over them. But only Bite wants to come down for the kitty treats during the live streams. Maybe if I did a live stream at like 11 o'clock at night, you'd get to see Nibble here too. Mm-hmm. Or the brush. He likes the brush too, doesn't he? Yeah, I've been thinking, I promised I was going to do a vacuuming video. Maybe I ought to really do one here because, we still haven't cleared up yet whether you were watching me for the vacuum videos or for Jordan. Yeah, well, there he goes. Yep, I am actually wearing the slippers today. I'm actually wearing long pants too. It's a little cold today. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. It's really nice of you. Yeah, that's not how it's done. Videos are fun too. I enjoy doing those. It still makes me laugh. Yeah, slipper time, exactly. I keep hearing thumping on the steps, and Bite is at the edge of the steps looking up. I'm halfway wondering if Nibble's like coming down or something. I don't know. See if I can coax them both down here. Candy corn, huh? Oh, yummy. I know I keep hearing everyone rag on candy corn on the internet. It isn't my favorite thing, but it's okay. It's not something I give out. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was thinking about doing a vacuuming video just to see what would happen. We could put the GoPro on the vacuum and you get the vacuum eye view of things going on. What's on the menu tonight? I don't know. I'm gonna just have what's here. I may not eat it all before I go because I went and did a restaurant vlog today, and oh man, I filled myself up. There was so much food. It's funny. I didn't. We gave the shout out to Epic Paul, but he doesn't seem to be here. So, like I said, go check him out. He wanted to see if I could help him boost up his subscribers a little bit. He's a little over 500. He wants to get to 1,000. I don't think I have the power to do that, but I'm not Jordan or anything. I don't know if I had any trick or treaters because I was up in well down in Temple doing the Silo Screams on Halloween night. So yeah, I don't know. It probably wasn't a whole lot because it was cold. You remember the ice cold beer I was drinking? Yeah, I didn't drink any beer today. Beer goes good with pizza, and so that's what I and margaritas go good with Mexican food. But when I'm eating something else, and I just generally go with the Sprite or something. Yeah, check him out. I mean, like I said, he's his videos are a little on the primitive side. He's a kid and he's kind of figuring this stuff out. But you know what? He's a nice kid and he's been, uh, talking to me a lot and actually make he's been making some suggestions on things to see. Am I ready to put the Christmas tree up? Honestly, as much as I do used to do in the backyard in California for Christmas, I don't put Christmas trees up. It's funny. Uh, I think it's probably just because I know the cats would be climbing up on them and knocking them down and stuff like that. And and I have enough problems with them barfing all over the floor as it is. So if I put a real tree in the house, it's just going to give them something else to barf up, and I don't really need that. So I do all my decorating outside. I don't know. I'll probably do some of that too. I got like 5 or 6 big plastic containers filled, 5-gallon buckets filled with like Christmas lights. Because I used to cover my house in California. I still have all those here. Not a whole bunch of places to do it, but I bet you I could decorate the tree or the fence or something like that. Do something kind of cool. Yeah, well, I mean, that's sort of the point of all these videos, Jeff, is when I'm on for 2 hours, I end up repeating myself a lot. So yeah, we did talk about my parents. They're both home. It's actually my father's birthday today, so I've been kind of giving him a happy birthday shout out throughout the video. But he's doing well, at least so far as I've heard. I haven't gotten any more of those medic alert alarms. Although every time they do it, my mom threatens that to call them and say, don't let the kids know every time. It's like, well, last time it happened to you was because you ended up in the hospital. You fell and cracked your head open. I want to know stuff like that. You may not think it's important, but I need to know this kind of stuff. We had an argument when I was there last time. It was like, well, if I just fell out of bed and just need a little help to get back in, you don't need to know about that. Okay, all right, fine, I'll agree with that. But if you're bleeding and you're on the way in the hospital, that's a whole different thing. So, but anyway, yeah, they're home and I'm sure enjoying their being together again. I'll probably call my dad when I'm on my way to probably call my dad when I'm on my way down to Temple today. Talk to him on the way down. Paul's channel is called Epic Paul, EPICPAUL. Like I said, he's not on here, I guess, anymore. But if you kind of scroll up to the top of the video, this was the first comment in here today. So you can just check out the spelling, but it's just like I said, EPICPAUL, 2 words. And he's a kid who just lives here in Waco and kind of does some of the videos, just things that are interesting to him. That's he does some how-to videos too. I saw one where he talked about how to hook up a VCR to your TV, and he'll go visit places. So apparently he's been doing it for a while. I don't think he does it every day, but he does periodic videos, and it seems to me he's been doing them longer than I have. So what's in Temple? Well, the main thing that's in Temple for me is the okay. Hang on, here we go again. Yeah, we got Cheese God here. Oh, he got 2 accounts too. Clever, this one. Trying to. Okay, it's just taking a long time for. Yikes! Yeah, I love cheese, but come on. Holy cow, I can't get rid of this guy here. If cheese God 1, cheese God 2. Guessing at some point, I'm guessing at some point we'll see cheese God 3 too. Man. At least they're not telling me to drink sulfuric acid, right? Oh yeah, fall back tonight. Yeah, what do people think about that? There's like some movement out there to end that. I'm actually kind of in favor of of ending the daylight saving time, the time shifts. It's kind of it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense anymore. Hey, there we go. Paul's back in. Hey, Paul, we gave you a couple of shout outs, but you must have taken a video here or must have taken a break. So yeah, we got a couple people here. So yeah, this is Epic Paul, people. We've been talking to him a little bit, talking about him a little bit, but that's him. Say hi, Paul. Tell us a little about yourself, so they know what they're looking at. I've already had a couple people say they're going to go over and subscribe. Must have taken a little bit of a break there because we tried calling you and you weren't there. You have to let us know how much you hit your subscriber numbers here, because probably, like I said, we're not going to get you to 1,000 because I've only got 56 people viewing. So unless we have the cheese fan here who can go subscribe to you with 50 different accounts. Yeah, I agree. We ought to end the it doesn't make any sense to have the time changes now. It just screws everything up. Set the time for daylight savings time and leave it that way. I think what they ought to do, rather, because what I was seeing was an article of Congress trying to do something about that. And honestly, I think this is one of those things that they ought to just, each state ought to just vote to do it on their own. Because some of the states don't do it as it is. So, just, everyone, just call your local state representatives and say, hey, it's time to end this. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I think that's a far more appropriate way of doing things. I'm kind of I kind of believe that the Constitution is the rule of the land, and if it isn't in the Constitution, it shouldn't be. The federal government shouldn't be doing it. I know that's kind of a libertarian take on things, but there isn't anything in the Constitution about government regulating the time zone. So it's just it may have been something that was started on a federal level, but there isn't anything that says that you have to do it. It should just be ended at a state level. And I think a lot of times, states could do it and be the end of it. Because then it would also be an issue of it'd be a vote. You put it on a ballot and people vote on it and say yes or no, and that's what happens. And then the people get to choose. Yeah, that's what. Well, and it screws up, people who have sleeping schedules. It screws that up. It also it messes things up if you have companies that run 24 hours a day, because then one day a year, one shift loses an hour. Gets a 7 hour day instead of an 8 hour day, and then later part of the year they get a 9 hour day, and yeah, just why? I guess it sort of made sense 100 years ago, but it's one of those things that's just kind of we're over it now. And I think we do it more because habit than anything else. Yeah, I don't know what states do and don't. I mean, I know California does, and I guess Texas does, and those are the only ones I really am aware of. But I think most of them still do. And like I said, just put it on the ballot and end it. Somebody ought to just take the initiative in each state. Go and figure out what you've got to do to get something on the ballot and just end it. Because I would bet you a great number of people would support that. Because it isn't even a political issue. It's just, does this make sense anymore? Yeah, and the other end of that is if it gets light earlier, then they think it's time to get up. Exactly. You're learning to play guitar. That's a good useful thing. I have a couple of guitars. I don't know how to play them though. In fact, I had an electric bass for a while, and I gave it to my nephew. Wasn't doing anything with it. Of course, I don't think he's doing anything with it either. But I suspect it probably has a better chance of getting used at some point if he has it than with me because I just kept it in a case in the back room. Yeah, I think that's what the daylight savings time all started with. Is it was designed to give farmers an extra hour in the day, which is really stupid because it's there's this quote I've heard that I guess it's attributed to some Native American and says something to the effect of how stupid it is to believe that you can cut a foot off one end of a blanket and sew it to the other end of the blanket and have a longer blanket. If you need that extra hour, then get up earlier. I mean, granted, the length of the days change, but you know, it doesn't give you an extra hour if the clock says it's an hour later. Hi, William. Yeah, I mean, the days are the same length. Well, they aren't the same length. They vary every day, but you know, it doesn't get longer just because the clock says it's an hour later. But whatever. Might have had to do with the fact that if you change the hours, then the hours that businesses are open change too, and but the solution to that is to that you just have the business change their hours during busy seasons. That happens all the time. I've been to HEB Plus in Waco a number of times. There's actually I've been in two of them in Waco because there's like one at the end of like Valley Mills Road, and then there's one a few miles up the 35 too. I've been in both of them. I don't know. There's maybe more too. Have you vlogged that one, Paul? Yeah, I actually really like HEB. They have a fantastic produce section. I was always reminded me because there were like three different kinds of stores that I went to in California. There was my day-to-day shopping, day-to-day grocery store, which was Ralph's, which was just because it was the closest one to my house. And then there was like a farmer's market called Sprouts. They had a lot of produce and a lot of like meat and stuff like that. And I'd go there, when I wanted produce or veggies or something like that. And then when I wanted stuff in bulk, I'd go to Costco. And this HEB kind of seems, almost like a little of each. It doesn't quite have the bulk like you get at Costco, but it has a produce section that I thought rivals what I'd find at Sprouts, and so yeah, good stuff. Just doing some more cooking on the pellet grill here. Yeah, you're gonna have to invite us all over. Um, to for dinner one of these nights. The time zones were created for the railroads, huh? Interesting. I thought I'd heard that it was for the farmers too, but who knows? Yeah, I'll take one, Jeff. Quick one for me. Do you deliver? No, I got kind of got my fix of bear claws there, but I know where to get them now, and that's the issue. I haven't seen a Trader Joe's here. No. Yeah, you're right, Jason. Steak and potatoes do sound good. Cool. Yeah, drop it in the mail. I hope it's still warm when it gets here. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that maybe in some of the bigger cities, I haven't seen a Trader Joe's here. I've never really been a huge fan of Trader Joe's anyway. It's a little too expensive, I think. I'm also a little disappointed that there isn't a Costco that's real close by here. Um, so, but I'm kind of keeping an eye. There's one in Dallas, and generally what happens, I will I'll go to Costco, just when I need to, and usually I go like once a year and buy like just you stock up on meat or something like that. One of the things my parents give me for Christmas every year is a Costco gift card, and so usually what I'll do is I'll just go and I'll just blow that whole cart on meat, and I'll eat for like a year, throw it in the freezer. Yeah, there's a Sam's Club in Waco, but I'm not a member of that. Yeah, I've been to Aldi. I'm not really impressed with at least the one I've seen. Um, what is Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's is sort of a small supermarket chain, but they have kind of limited, items. It isn't a full size grocery store. I think they kind of focus on a lot of yeah, well, high end. Yeah, it's a lot of prepared stuff. Not really great selection, and I thought it's oftentimes really overpriced. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's probably why he's not telling us where to come, what the address is. He doesn't want 50 of us showing up for food. Hello, Seattle, Judy. Judy, glad you stopped in. Well, that's what paper plates are for, Jeff. Well, no, I've considered going to visit the Branch Davidian compound because it is here, and it's kind of interesting. There's three things that Waco is kind of famous for. Branch Davidians is one of them. Uh, the silos for Chip and Joanna Gaines is another one, and Dr. Pepper. And of those three things, I've only actually visited one of those sites. But I don't know. We'll hit them at some point. I think. I've never heard of Lucy's Market or Lucky's Market. Oh, I guess I have heard of Lucky's. We used to have Lucky's in California. I haven't seen one of those in a long time now. Not even in California. There was a farmers market in downtown, Waco, back in the summer, I think. But it's literally it's almost like a swap meet kind of thing, and it only runs a couple months a year. And actually, the day I discovered it was the day after it stopped for the year. So Yeah, I remember Lucky's from way back when because there used to be one. I think my mom would go shopping there, but I haven't seen that in years. And it wouldn't surprise me if Albertsons bought them. Have I been to Treasure City Flea Market in Waco yet? No, I haven't. Is that good? Is that something that's open all year round? All right, yeah, we're at the hour mark, Jeff. So we'll probably be here for a while yet. Like I said, I'll go. I usually go for 2 hours, so we're at the halfway mark. Are there any organic stores there? I don't know. I haven't really seen any of them. I mean, there's stores that have organic stuff in them, but I haven't seen any dedicated organic stores. So yeah, we'll probably get Jeff to stop in a little bit later, get that grill fired up, and then he can start tag teaming between us and the football game. Yeah, I haven't seen any Piggly Wigglies down here. Open all year round. Okay, I'll have to check that out sometime, Paul. If you haven't had a chance, go over. Everyone else, go over and check out Epic Paul's YouTube channel. He's here in Waco too, and does some of his own vlogging here. So we're giving it. This is Epic Paul shout out day. So if you get a chance, let's see if we can boost his subscribers a little bit. Not going to get you to 1,000 though, Paul. That's I think beyond my abilities. But we'll nudge you a little bit in that direction. Actually, the only way I know about Piggly Wigglies is from the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when they were taking over that mountain where the UFO was going to come down. They were going to have the meeting. They uh, they used a bunch of trucks to bring stuff in, and I guess a bunch of the trucks had Piggly Wigglies on the outside of it. And even all these years later, um, I remember that, and that's basically my experience with Piggly Wiggly. Ever thought about working at Bucky's? The closest Bucky's is in Temple, and that'd be a little bit more of a drive than I'm looking for. Uh, I've learned honestly that it's about 35 miles each way there, just because that's where the side of the Screams is in Temple too. And I also knew kind of where Temple was because when I was going and unloading my pods, the pods storage place was in Temple too. So yeah, Piggly Wiggly might have been in Fried Green Tomatoes, but I have to admit that I've never seen that. So it wasn't really a movie that really appealed to me at that time, and I haven't really had any reason to check it out since then. And it looks like I got a cat behind me again, huh? Right? My buddy. Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, Angela, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a chick flick. Now, I did see Driving Miss Daisy when it was in the theaters, but I've only seen it the one time. Ever heard of a grocery store called Red Owl? No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Now that I think about it, I think that I remember some other movie reference where they were talking about Piggly Wiggly, but I can't remember what the movie is. Yeah, actions and thrillers and comedies and stuff like that. I didn't see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'll probably check that out when I'm not really one that goes to the theater anymore for movies. I used to when I was younger, when I had an apartment before I bought the house. I'd go to the movies like every weekend, but yeah, I stopped doing that when I bought a house and got out of the habit. And I very rarely go to the movies anymore. Uh, what I do is I'll wait until I can get it on DVD or Blu-ray. Yeah, Eraserhead's it's an interesting movie. It's not one that I pull out and watch often, but it's just a really strange movie. I've liked a number of David Lynch's movies because I like Blue Velvet. You saw that in the collection, and I've got Twin Peaks and both the TV series and the movie. So yeah, I've got a few David Lynch movies. I like strange movies like that. Ones that kind of stop and think about what exactly is going on. And a lot of times people don't like David Lynch's movies because they're kind of paced really slowly, especially Eraserhead. It's probably a movie that could be recut and turned into a 15-minute movie, but you know it isn't. Yeah, that's right, Angela. You can have a big, huge TV screen that's almost like a movie theater, and you don't have to sacrifice your shoes when you get out. Um, you know, you don't have to deal with people being obnoxious. You can pause it and go to the bathroom when you want, or pause it and go get something to eat. Yeah, yeah. I used to go to drive-in movie theaters when I was a kid, but I haven't been to one probably since I was 10. Ever see the movie Jodie Foster movie Contact? Yeah, I did see that. It was an interesting story for a movie, but was really disappointed. But in fact, there's a South Park routine. I think it's Mr. Garrison has just had his nose surgery and he keeps throwing up. And then somebody says, um, "Did you ever see Contact?" And that just really makes him throw up. And then he says at the end, "Waited through that whole GD movie just to find out that the alien was her GD father." Yeah, I mean, Contact it had a great premise and some great effects and all that, but like I said, it just didn't go anywhere. It just seems like they ran out of story, ran out of money at the end, and okay, well, let's make it her dad. Okay, whatever. Sling Blade, yeah, I never saw that one either. Yeah, I think Sling Blade was one of those movies that kind of came out when I was done watching, going to the theaters. It sounds like maybe one of those movies that I might have gone to see at some point. If if it had come out when I was doing a lot of movie watching in the theaters, but once I got to the point where I didn't know, when I wasn't doing that as much, it seemed to be the end. Do I get paid for YouTube? Yes, I do. don't get a whole bunch of money, but it depends on advertising, and I get a little bit of super chat when that happens, and I've got some Patreons and some people that send money to my PayPal account. So yeah, I earn a little bit right now, not to the point where I can retire. That'd be nice, but I'm gonna have to be a big boy and get a real job. Never heard of Nicholas J. Fuentes. So, no, I'm not sure. Yeah, I never saw Monsters Ball either. That was with, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. Yeah, Paul, you got to get, that's why I suppose you're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, because that's the point where you can start monetizing. I think it's what, Halle Berry, thank you. That's who I don't know, I lock on people's names. Yeah, y'all remembered all at once. It's basically, yeah, it's based on the number of subscribers, but it's also total view time. And I think the total view time is you got to have 4,000 hours or something like that of total view time. And then once you do that, then you can monetize it. And then it's based on, you know, with ads and stuff like that. Yeah, YouTube will report the income to the IRS, and then yeah, it's just like you'll get a W-2 at the end of the year from them. No, it's a yeah, it's no, it's I think it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 um, and 4,000 view hours. That's at least what I remember from when I did it. What is monetizing? It basically means that I can start earning money on the videos I do, and uh, and so basically when you see ads on my videos, um, they I get paid for that, and it depends on how many people watch and how and YouTube has been kind of laying off my daily videos now more. I haven't had one of those demonetized in a couple weeks, but generally every one of my live streams is demonetized the moment you know, every one of my live streams is demonetized the moment it goes live. And so basically you'll know which ones are that's happened to because the live stream will go live about an hour after I finish shooting it. And if it doesn't, if it's a day later, then that means that it got demonetized. And what I do then is I leave it private until they correct that. Am I missing California? No, not really. No, in fact, almost every day I find some new reason why I'm glad I left. The fact that it's burning to the ground right now, it's well, you do have some control over the number of ads. I could put more ads into my videos if I want. Basically, I just let YouTube do it. They just put ads in periodically. I think sometimes the videos will play without even an ad. But I don't really like ads myself. When I'm watching a video, I'm in the middle of something and getting into what I'm watching, all of a sudden it breaks away to an ad. I find that irritating. I prefer it more when the ads are at the beginning. Let me watch the ad at the beginning and then let me watch the whole video. But I basically leave that up to YouTube to do. Now on the live streams, I do actually set where the ads are, and I kind of go in afterwards, and approximately every 15 minutes I'll throw an ad in. And what I usually try and do is, from time to time there'll be a point where I'm not talking because I'm either interacting with a cat or something like that, or just nothing's going on the screen, or I'm having a drink of water or something like that. I usually try and find the ads and drop them into those spots because it especially bugs me when I'm watching something and right in the middle of a sentence they cut out for an ad. So I try and avoid that on the live streams, but I don't do anything really a whole lot on the day-to-day videos. Yeah, I like the Green Mile too. There's some great acting in that. I agree with you that there's certain parts that are hard to watch, though, but I would bet that the parts that you have problems watching are not the problems that I have. I always get annoyed with the point where Tom Hanks's character can't pee. I think that's just a guy thing because we've all kind of experienced that, and it isn't pleasant, and it isn't even pleasant to watch someone else do it. But I really especially like the actor who played Tom Coffey. I wish we'd seen more of him. He passed away a couple years ago. He was a really good actor. I'd only ever seen him in two things. Yeah, John Candy is great too. I don't really have a whole lot of John Candy movies, but everything I've got with him is great. Yeah, yeah. Tom Coffey was definitely my favorite character in Green Mile. Parents are doing good. They're both home right now, and it's my dad's birthday today, so you know, giving him a shout out today. Happy birthday, Dad! Um, I'll probably end up calling him when I go on down to Temple today. It's been kind of a busy day because got up a little bit late. Sometimes my sleep was a little knocked out of whack, and so I'll sleep in a little bit. And then today I went and did a restaurant vlog. Came home, took a little bit of a nap, and then came on, did the live stream. And basically, I took the nap because one, I just ate a huge meal, and that usually makes me tired to begin with. And two is because I'm going back to Silo of Screams to do their kind of blackout night tonight, and I want to kind of bank up a little bit of sleep on that. Yeah, I like Shawshank Redemption. Like I just watched that movie a couple nights ago. That was a big part of the reason I moved out of California was it was so expensive, and the state just is very unfriendly to business. So yeah, my dad is 81 today. What do the cats do on Halloween? I don't know. I wasn't here. I was up at Saddler Screams, but I'm just assuming they hung out on their shelf. Actually, I came home and Light was sitting on my lazy boy chair over there. That's that chair that I start all my videos on, where I say, "Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Brick Roll." Yeah, that's that chair, and it's bike chair when I'm not home. I've seen a few episodes of The Big Bang Theory. Never really watched it on a regular basis. I think the only episode I ever actually sat down and intentionally watched was the episode that Jordan was in. And I love the movie Amadeus too. Yeah, that's a great movie. I used to have that on Laserdisc, and then when I started moving away from Laserdiscs, I actually bought it on DVD, and there was something wrong with the DVD because I could never get the audio to play. There was a feature in the movie where it would just play the music. So if you wanted to just listen to the music without all the dialogue, you could do that. And I don't have a problem with that feature, but for some reason I could never uh, turn on the dialogue. So I ended up replacing it with a Blu-ray, and actually the Blu-ray has an extended version of the movie. So there was like scenes that I'd never seen before, and that's great. But it's great, great movie. Tom Hulce is great in that. Jeffrey Jones is great in that. You had cheesecake for your birthday, huh? That's good. Yeah, we were talking about Sling Blade a little while ago. I never saw that one. Yeah, Jordan was on an episode of Big Bang Theory. He was background. He just was somebody walking in the background. Was on camera for maybe 1 second, but yeah, he was actually in that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Much of the movie Amadeus was filmed in Prague, and yeah, Jordan covered a lot of that when he was there. Well, the problem with big tech in California is if they keep having rolling blackouts the way they are, that's not going to last long either. It's hard to do big tech when you don't have electricity. Yeah, I like Jordan's Helen Keller vlogs too. Those are amazing. But then again, just about anything Jordan does is great. That's why he's such a great vlogger. Yeah, I like the Karate Kid too. The original one with Ralph Macchio. I'm not a huge fan of remakes. Old Batman. Yeah, I remember that. I used to watch that when I was a kid. Na, 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 Batman. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I'm not really an Allman Brothers fan, but that was definitely. I've always known Jordan as a huge Allman Brothers fan, and his mom too. So I know that was really special that they got to go visit that and see all those places. Yeah, I'm trying to be interesting. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll ever reach Jordan's level, but that's fine. I am what I am. And I didn't start this to be just a clone of Jordan. There's a lot of people that do vlogs very similar to Jordan, and from the beginning I knew this wasn't what I wanted to be. I wanted to be who I am. That's sort of what this is supposed to be. What a vlog is supposed to be anyway. It's a video log of what's going on in your life. So it's going to be always going to be the things that are important to me. And I can't wait to get a house because that'll be an endless source of vlogs. But I'm having fun doing the bites and nibbles segments. In fact, I did another one of those yesterday. You'll see that tomorrow night, I think. And I enjoy doing the restaurant vlogs, and I enjoy doing the that's not how it's done vlogs. And I like the cemetery vlogs; those are fun. So I don't know. If people like it, they'll watch. If they don't, they won't. That's how it works. That's how it is with everyone too. It's the same with Jordan or Adam or Jacob or Justin or any of them. If you like them, you watch them. If you don't, you don't. You're never going to make everyone happy. Just got to be true to yourself. And if people like you, they'll watch you. Yeah, that was actually one of my viewers. I don't even remember who. I wish I could actually attribute it to, but I think somebody in the in on one of the live streams suggested that I should change mouse food because I mean even I had to acknowledge that that wasn't the most appetizing name in the world. And somebody had suggested bites and nibbles, and it's like, you know what? That's actually a really that's clever, and it's an homage to these guys. So yeah, that's a good idea. I'm don't let it say that I won't take suggestions if they're good. Yeah, I got to learn how to do good Tex Mex. So, I'm new in Texas here, so we'll play it by ear as I learn how to do stuff. In terms of the bites and nibbles segments, I look at the recipes and say, you know what, that actually just sounds good from the ingredients, and it's also kind of a factor of do I have what I need, supply wise to do it, because sometimes you need special pots and pans, or I actually had to go to the storage locker to do the video I did yesterday that you'll see tomorrow, and fortunately I was able to find my mixer because that was sort of an important part of the process. And I was looking at it, it's like, well, that'd be really good to do, but I'm going to need a mixer to do it. And I know I have a mixer. I got a great mixer, but it's in the storage locker, and it's all going to be a matter of can I find it? And turned out I was really close to the top. So, all right, thanks for stopping in, CNV Young. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do need to get a good Texas map. I agree. Food processor, that was just a Black and Decker. It was just a cheap one I bought at Walmart. Doesn't have a real lot of settings or any of that, but it's powerful, and that's good. No, I don't let the cats in my bedroom, so they have run of the apartment at night, but I lock the room so they stay out. Every once in a while, this one will go wandering around the house going meow, meow, meow at 3 in the morning. So sometimes what I like to do is when he's sleeping in his room, I'll go in his space and say meow, 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 just to wake him up. A little kitty revenge there. Yeah, the food processor is very handy for doing things like that. Now, one of the problems you run into with like when you're slicing carrots is keeping the carrot going into the blade this way and not falling this way. Because what ends up happening then is you end up with big long strips of your carrot versus like nice round slices going the length of the carrot. But usually, what happens if you just take the carrots and put a whole bunch of them in there, so they kind of fill up the feed tube. Then they all kind of just hold each other up as they go down. Yeah, I know I do that intentionally at VNA because people always tell me that their pets respond when I make my meowing sound. I also had a bunch of people say that my jump scare at the end of my Halloween video scared a few people. I had somebody say that they had like a cup of coffee they were holding in their hand and they actually ended up spilling on themselves when I did the jump scare at the end of that video. Yeah, it's a joke that I do for your pets. Not these live streams aren't just for you. Okay, that's it right there. Zero tolerance on that. Sometimes I question whether it's a just some person that doesn't know what they're doing, but then you end up with something like that, and that's the end. Getting our share of trolls today. I have been thinking about maybe not necessarily an instant pot, but like a crock pot or something like that. I was thinking I'd probably This is usually about the time of year my parents start asking me what I want for Christmas. So I'm thinking probably on the list this year will be a crock pot. Yeah, the Eagles had their moments. I don't know. They were one of those. I think I just when I was kind of going through my teenage years, they were just on the radio all the time, and I think I just got kind of burned out on them. I had a best of greatest hits out. I had a best of Eagles album, and that's all I think I've ever had of theirs. Yeah, well, when it comes time to get a crock pot, I'll have to do my research on that, and that's what I usually do. I try and figure out what it is exactly I'd like to do with it, and that usually starts off by looking at the features and seeing what they can do and all that. Oh, they're just coming out in force today. Whatever, that's just losers got to be losers, I guess. Hello from SNA. What is SNA? Only thing I know that's SNA is that's the abbreviation for John Wayne Airport in Orange County. SNA for Santa Ana Airport. Am I going to make turkey for Thanksgiving? I don't know. I've never done it before. I've always yeah. Okay, so you were talking about it, Santa Ana Airport, SNA. Okay. Yeah, the trolls, they're just people that have nothing going on in their life. I've often said, if they put half as much effort into building up their own channel as they do into trolling others, they'd be way more successful. And it's really kind of a waste of time that they do this too, because it takes so long to set up a YouTube account. It takes me 1 second to block them. So I don't know. No, the only thing I ever did, I mean, I never did anything professional like that, like Silo Screams in California. But if you've seen Jordan's videos, I've done, every year I used to do my own little Halloween attraction at my house. And I had kids that came by every year. They come from miles around to see my attraction every year. And so I really kind of enjoyed doing it, and but I didn't do it this year. But when I got a chance to go over to Silo of Screams, and then when they invited me back and asked me to shoot the video and asked me to participate and all that. In fact, I got a text message from the owner today. It said, "When you're up tonight, remind me to give you a T-shirt." So I'm going to get a Silo of Screams T-shirt. So you'll probably see that at some point. I'll probably wear that on the video. I think that's probably why he's giving it to me too, because he knows that yeah, that's free advertising on his vlog. I hear thumping on the steps, but I don't know if it's neighbors next door climbing their stairs or if it's Nibble coming down the stairs here. Hard to tell. Angela, yeah, all of the above. I like all of it. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. Yeah, I suppose that's probably true about the crock pots that the inner pot, which is usually porcelain, cracks over time, or at least is easier to break. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And if the Instapots are metal, then that's maybe a good feature to look at. Yeah, green beans. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would bet you so. You can make some good casseroles and stuff like that in a crock pot too. Crock pot, Instapot, whatever. Like I said, I'll do some research on that because I think that would be a good thing to do. I would like to have one of those. Yeah, I kept threatening with the Halloween stuff because they kept having some technology that failed. The building that they're in is like an old abandoned warehouse, and the roof leaks, and it's rained a few times in the last few weeks, and so sometimes you get like water dripping through the roof onto some of your technology in there. And one of the mazes, the one I was in, had like some smoke machines that didn't work the entire time I was there, and we suspected it's because it got rained on. So I thought about going back and bringing some of my own smoke machines because I got a couple of them. Yeah, the crock pots I always saw. My mom always had one, and they had like that porcelain insert. And you're right, they're easy to break. I mean, they're heavy relative to most cooking utensils. It's not really that heavy, but your pintos in your crack pot, huh? I know what you mean, but that just made me laugh. What's your favorite holiday? 2 days ago, Halloween. I love Halloween. Next up is Christmas. Yeah, it'd be fun to do like pot roasts and stews, and I would bet you chili in a crock pot or an Instapot is a good option too. Probably let it cook for a really long time, and then the meat gets real tender, all that. Well, I'll tell you, I already have kind of food for days because with all the cooking I'm doing for the bites and nibbles section. I mean, I still have stuff that I cooked a few weeks ago. Remember when I did that chicken lemon orzo soup a few weeks ago? Yeah, I still got like 2 pots of that in the freezer. So, I'm still working on that. Yeah, Jordan and I haven't talked about any visits, so it'll happen if it happens. Jordan kind of travels a lot right now, so it wouldn't surprise me if he came here some point. But there's nothing on the books at this point. Yeah, the lemon chicken soup was really good. Like I said, and the beauty of it is I keep ending up with more of it. I cook some of it, and what ends up happening is the orzo continues to suck in all the moisture, and so you eat like a bowl full of it, and you end up having to put another cup of water into it because the orzo sucked up all the moisture. So at the end, when I originally cooked it, I ended up with about three and a half 1 quart buckets full of it in the freezer, and I think at the end it'll probably be 5 quarts because they keep adding more water to it because it just gets too thick. Yeah, I've been thinking to be. You remember when I did my wild rice, cream of mushroom, and chicken soup for one of my earliest cooking vlogs. I bet you that would be great in a crock pot too. I bet you would, because then you could just throw all the ingredients in there and let it all kind of percolate together, and it probably end up cook it for 12 or 16 hours or something like that, and it'd be good to go. What's my favorite of the viewer recipes? I really like Elvis's lasagna. That was fantastic. I did something yesterday that will come out in tomorrow's video that turned out really good. It isn't an entree. It's more of a side dish kind of thing, but it turned out really good too. But I haven't. But there hasn't really been anything that I haven't liked. I think the biggest fail I had was the the one I did a few days ago where I just couldn't get the thing out of the pot, out of the pan, because it kind of burned a little bit. But even that was really tasty. No, I don't really use red wine in anything I cook. I'm not really a fan of the flavor of wine, so I don't really ever have any in the house. I don't drink wine myself. I'm more of a beer person, so somebody comes up with a beer recipe, I might try that. Yeah, you're right. The orzo soup does freeze really well. The cats follow me in the kitchen only when I'm opening cans of tuna. Well, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that the orzo does that, Kathy. But I expect when I get to the end, there's just going to be one big giant orzo noodle that's going to be like this, and I'm going to be eating it like a baked potato because it's just going to be kept sucking in all the moisture. But that's fine. That just like I said, it's like orzo soup concentrate. You just keep having to add water to it. Yeah, right. We'll do a vlog about that. Attack of the Killer Orzo. Never tried horseradish mashed potatoes, but it actually sounds good. I like garlic mashed potatoes, and I like horseradish, so that's really good. Might be a good combination, something to try sometime. Never heard anyone mixing those two things together, but could turn out to be really good. Yeah, I do have Mars Attacks in my collection. Great movie. I like a lot of Tim Burton stuff. There are a lot of cool uh, cameos in that one too. Beer works well in a lot of things, so yeah, doesn't surprise me to be good in. Oh yeah, do you know that on the DVD there's actually a language option where you can listen to it in Martian, so everything's translated into Martian. Never actually done it. I sat and watched a couple minutes of it that way, but I think it would get annoying after a while. Is the drive to Temple heavy traffic? No. As a matter of fact, the number of times I've driven to Temple during Friday night rush hour, and yeah, no traffic. I mean, Temple and Waco are both pretty small towns, and they're just yeah, there's no traffic. The biggest problem you get into is you'll have some clown that's driving at 75 in the fast lane and holding everyone else up. Yeah, I've heard people doing bigger beer batter fish and chips. That'd be good. Yeah, I've hit most of the interesting places in and around Waco. Now it's just things that I just kind of stumble upon. Like when I went to Cameron Park and just kind of walked around the trails. That was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I had gotten, it was late in the afternoon. I hadn't figured out what I was going to do for a vlog, so I just said, I'm just going to drive around and see what I find. Because there've been a few times where I've just kind of done that and stumbled upon to some stuff, and it turned out to be good. And that's just what kind of came out of that. So yeah, I just kind of like doing that, and it was kind of fun to find those trails and walk around there because it was so beautiful out there. And like I said, I'd never seen an armadillo before, so at least not one that hadn't been hit by a car. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Some of those sponge, but I still don't love. I still don't know what it is that people watch because there's videos that'll go up that I think, okay, this is going to be a really good one, or I'll think, okay, yeah, this one's going to be a dud. Nobody's going to watch that, and I'm always wrong. So the one up yesterday where I was just me talking about, you know, trying this new company and applying for jobs and all that. That was one of those. Is like, oh, I haven't done a vlog today. I probably should do one because I spent all day just on the computer filling out applications and stuff. And it was a 3.5 minute video of just me talking about it, and that one did actually fairly well. So I don't know. I still don't have a grip on what it is that people like. Thanks, Angela. I'm sure a lot of you do, and I appreciate that. But there's just a few weeks ago, it was a pretty typical day where when the next video went up, the previous day's video had over 1,000, and now that's almost kind of a fluke when that happens. You know, the video I did a couple days ago hit 1,000 after 2 days. Last few, have been way under that. So I don't know. Yeah, see, the zip lining, that was a perfect example. Usually when it's me out, doing one of my flashback videos, especially when I bring Beth into the equation, those usually do really well. But that video was sort of disappointing view wise too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out. As soon as I figure it out, what it is that people like, that's why I want to figure it out because I want you to watch them all. And part of that is figuring out what people like and don't like. But I just don't have a firm grip on that yet, even still. I don't really have a preference on the zip lining or bungee jumping. They were both fun. I would do either of them again. The bungee jumping was a little scary for me because a month earlier I'd been visiting a friend in Hawaii and I'd really badly sprained my ankle. And I thought that that was going to cause problems when I bungee jumped, but it wasn't. So it was all right. It was a little painful walking up there that day though, because that place was like it was a 3 mile white walk into the bridge. So it was a little painful getting up and down, but it's just a matter of putting your mind over your fears. And that's really where I'm coming from, Sandra. I'm just kind of doing what I like to do, and we go from there. You know, Jordan does that too. He does what he likes, and waits for the audience to find him. Yeah, I believe every time you watch it is a separate view, Todd. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Nice of you to say that. Well, we're also supposedly getting into the season now where YouTube doesn't pay as well. I've heard Jordan talk about that. I haven't experienced it personally yet because apparently, like first of the year, like advertising revenue goes way down, and so I'm gonna have to see what happens. I don't know if that's what's related because, like I said, there's a direct correlation with the number of views I'm getting too, and those seem to be down too. And I don't know if it's just that people aren't watching. Some of the people are giving up on me, or I'm not getting promoted that much by as much by YouTube. I don't know yet. Like I said, I know that there's a whole bunch of my viewers who like watch every video. In fact, a lot of you sit there and wait for the video to go up and watch it like in the first minute because I'll sit there a lot of times and watch when the video first goes on, and it's unusual that I don't have a few views within the first minute. Because even now that happens. You're scared of heights, yeah. Well, then you're probably not going to enjoy either ziplining or bungee jumping. Those are definitely not for people who are afraid of heights. Just like that haunted house that I went into, the fun house is not the place if you don't like clowns. It's funny. I was listening to the guy who runs that place. He was talking to one of his new employees who work in the fun house, and he had to remind them that when they come out of the fun house, they got to take the mask off because they can't be walking around uh, with the mask on because there's people that are just terribly freaked out by clowns, and that really kind of made me laugh because all the horrible things that are in that place, all the scary costumes and creatures and monsters wandering around the place, and the thing that they have to be most careful about is the clowns. Well, as I've been watching the numbers, the views go down. The income has been decreasing too. So I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know. I don't want to make this about money though. This is that is a part of this, but it just doesn't sound good when you're talking about it too much. Can I see who is watching or where they are? Um, I generally get ideas of not specific users. So I can't, if you watch a video, I can't say, oh, yeah, Robert's watching right now. But I do generally get some demographic information. I know, over time, whether it's men or women that are watching me, what the age groups are, and where people are watching in the country or in the world. But I don't have specifics as to say, oh, this person's watching right now. The only way I know that a specific person is watching is if they leave a comment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's John Wayne Gacy specifically, but yeah, people are just really freaked out by clowns, especially some of the ones they got in that funhouse maze. Because there's some really creepy clowns. People who are afraid of clowns, they're afraid of just normal clowns. They see Bozo the clown, who's probably the most benign looking clown you can think of, and that still freaks them out. But yeah, but then you get like VNA said, then you have Pennywise, and all of the clowns in that funhouse maze are creepy clowns. Oh, that's too bad about someone dying in a ziplining accident in Queensland. But yeah, I'm sure that happens. Well, I'll tell you, it's ironic because when I first started doing this, my audience was 80% women and about 20% men, and its demographic is 35 to 75. Now the male female demographic has changed. It's 60-40 now, still in favor of women, but that age demographic is still about the same. 98% of my audience is 35 and older, which is interesting. It's also interesting because that's also sort of what Jordan's demographics are, and that's what makes him different from like Adam and Justin and the rest of them, because their demographics are younger people. The beauty of having an older demographic is that kids generally have a very short attention span. So one of the important things on YouTube is retention rate, how long the people stay with a video. And you go and look at, I remember Jordan talking once about he and Adam were having a discussion once, and Adam was saying, "Oh yeah, it's just my problem is always that my retention rate's like 20%. They watch 20% of the video, and then that's the end of it." And Jordan was saying, "Oh wait, that can't be. My retention rate's like 70%." And Adam couldn't believe that. And then Jordan actually pulled up the numbers and showed him on the phone. He's like, "Yeah, see right there." And that's I think what you get when you get a little older of an audience is they kind of get into something and then they stick with it. And so that's honestly a better, I think that's a better audience to have anyway, because, the longer you get somebody to stick with it, the more likely it is they're going to watch the ads, and more ads equal more ad revenue. And that's a good thing. I check in on Adam the Woo periodically. I don't watch him on a regular basis. The only one I watch on a regular basis is Jordan. Yeah, I like the cemetery vlogs too. Those are a lot of fun. Well, Jordan is an old soul, absolutely. But I think one of the things that makes his vlogs so great is it isn't just superficial. You compare Jordan's vlogs to Adam's vlogs, and Adam doesn't really do a whole lot of research on the subject. Maybe if he's going out and doing a filming location, he'll research where it is. But a lot of times, Adam's videos are just, "Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Oh, look at this thing over here. This is interesting." Jordan actually has learned about all these things. And I think that's one of the things that appeals to a more mature audience is they look at it not only to be entertaining, but to learn something. And that's what makes Jordan such a great vlogger, is because he does his research. I mean, I know probably better than anyone how much that is, because I've been on more of his vlogs, I think, than anyone except Jaw. And I know that when we're driving to locations, that's what he's doing. He's, not spending his time talking or listening to music. He's on the phone, doing research on whatever it is he's vlogging. Um, so yeah, I mean, he'll watch other YouTube videos, or he'll read books about things. And yeah, that's part of what makes him great at what he does, because he does so much research, because everything he knows, he either knew ahead of time, or because he's done his research and done his homework. Yes, he does online and book research, because I mean, yeah, he has books, not a whole lot of books, but especially when you're dealing with things like old Hollywood and stuff like that. And then, of course, Jordan's other gift is that he's just got such a great personality that he can talk his way into anything. And oh yeah, you're right. I think that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna see how that evolves. Yeah, well, that's not really where we're going, Trayvon. So you want to participate? That's cool. Yeah, Kitty's back. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Jordan's a huge old Hollywood fan, and so he's studied that for many many years and been a huge fan of that. But like I said, once he kind of got into the point where he was vlogging, then he had to do a lot more research. You need to watch YouTube videos like interviews of people and stuff like that. Hi, yeah, I guess that's me. I'm Ed McMahon without the personality. So I suppose you want more kitty treats now, right? And then you drop it, klutz. Did your mom ever teach you not to eat with your mouth open? Huh? Yeah, Jordan's talked about that before. So many of the other vloggers have just beat theme parks to death. Jordan's done a few of those, but he isn't like Adam or Justin that just go there like every weekend. And when he does, he like covers the top. If he is going to do it, he'll like cover the topic, and then that's the end of it. He won't go and do it over and over again. And I think the reason he did a lot of the Disney is because I was able to get him in free for a long time. But you know, and I think at one point, I don't know if he still does, but I think at one point he had a an annual pass to Universal Studios because he took me there a few times. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Adam is sort of an overgrown kid, and I think that's probably why he appeals to a younger audience. And then you get Justin. Justin's kind of Justin's just a little too hyper for me. It's a little too high energy, and I don't like the cut nature of his videos. Thanks, Christine. I'm glad you like the vlogs. Yeah, I enjoy doing them. Sometimes it's a little challenge to keep up with it every day, but come up with a new topic each day. But I'm just kind of winging it and kind of playing it by ear, see what happens. Like I said, the one where I just went through my video collection. That was just just a thing that I just decided to kind of do on the spur of the moment. And it really all kind of started with the live streams here because a lot of times we talk about movies, what movies I like, and so I said, you know what, this is kind of for them. We're going to do one where we just dive into do it kind of dive into what the movies are, and I was just going to show all of them. So do I know what a HEPA alert at Disney is? Yes, I do. I do. A HEPA alert is there's a problem where people like to bring their bring like ashes of dead people into the park, especially into the haunted mansion, and spread their ashes um, in the haunted attraction, but anywhere in the park. And anytime they find that, the HEPA alert is when they bring somebody in with a vacuum with a HEPA filter on it, so they can vacuum all that up. Uh, Another one, I don't know if you ever heard, you probably may or may not have heard that, is something called a code V, like V for Victor. And a code V is basically when somebody is thrown up. It's V for vomit. I've seen more than my share of code V's. You get some kid that's just been eating candy all day and up it comes. I'm glad it was never my responsibility to deal with it too. And I always felt like a jerk when I'd have to go to custodial and say, yeah, I got a code V for you. But yeah. Yeah, you never think about that V&A, but people do that. You know, especially like I said, especially around the haunted mansion. Freddie Jones. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that was. I think I've only seen the Elephant Man once. That was a long time ago. Well, it's only code V is only a deal breaker if you have to work in custodial. Have I ever been in the tunnels underground at Disney? There are only one or two of them at Disney, at Disneyland. Disney World, the whole park is built on top of underground tunnels, so you can basically get anywhere in the park. Um, okay, I just got a screen coming up saying my video connection is being unstable, so I don't know. Let me know. It says it's going to try and reset it, but we'll have to see what happens. Are you all seeing me clearly? I don't usually have problems like that here. I had a few problems. Had a few problems when I was at my dad's house. His internet was a little sketchy. I mean, we're kind of at the 2 hour mark anyway, so we're going to probably um, wind this down here pretty quickly. But do the cats have a litter box? Oh yeah, yeah. This isn't San Francisco. They don't just get to poo anywhere. Okay, yeah. Well, whatever went, the warning went away. So I don't know. I'm glad it stayed stable. Like I said, I don't usually get something coming up on the screen that says that there's a problem with the internet. So, and I don't see anything wrong with the bars I'm having. I'm like 6 feet away from the router, so it's not like it's a distance issue or something. I don't know. It might have just been a temporary glitch on the internet. Whatever it did, didn't seem to hurt anything. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up now because I'm going to have some dinner and then I got to leave in about an hour to head up to Silo of Screams. If there's anyone in the area that wants to stop by, like I said, we're doing blackout tonight from 8 to 11. It's less expensive tonight. It's $25 instead of the normal $35, and you get a glow stick to go through, and all the mazes are dark. And so it'll be a lot of scares tonight. It's your last chance to see it. And definitely, if you get a chance, go check out Epic Paul's channel. Let's boost up his subscriber rate a little bit. I'll help steer people to him, but it's up to him to keep them. So I don't know if he's still here, but if you get a chance, go check him out. He's EPIC Paul, Paul. He's a good kid, and check out his vlog, see what you think. So anyway, that's all I got tonight. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. My new video will be up in about 3 hours. I think you'll like that. It's going to be another Professor Breck episode today. So that is all we got. Happy birthday, Dad. See you next time, guys. Good night.